Hey, beautiful Pisces. Welcome to your Tarot and Oracle card reading for November. God's Spirit Universe, please bring truth, clarity, and wisdom to this reading for the beautiful Pisces family and help Pisces navigate to their highest and most blessed timeline. Thank you, Spirit. All right, Pisces, so you have powerful, powerful ending and beginning energies here. And also change, major change. You start with the Five of Wands, which is like staying centered in the midst of conflict, competition, drama, and trauma. Outside energies, like trying to upset the apple cart, basically, trying to distract you or threatening to, I want to say, change your course, distract you from your intended course, right? Then you have the Knight of Pentacles to the Wheel of Fortune. So the Knight of Pentacles is you're sowing your future. You're planting your seeds, right? You have intentions, like you want to do something, go somewhere, make something happen. And, the Five of Wands is like tripping you up. Now, this is at the beginning of the month, and we're going to get clarifiers for all of these, right? And then we're going to do a mid-month check-in, so you might want to check back as well. But what's going to happen is, let me just skip over here to the Six of Swords. You're going to get out of this place of drama and trauma, and you're going to find a more peaceful solution for yourself. If this means moving or getting out of a relationship or quitting a job, that's what's going to happen. All right. But then you have the Knight of Pentacles. You're creating something. Wheel of Fortune. Spirit is going to help. Spirit's going to do its part. It's going to co-create with you. What your intention is also Spirit's intention. And timing is divine. And so are you, right? So you've done your part, and then the Wheel of Fortune comes in and does its part. When you sow your seeds, it takes a period of time for those seeds to sprout and bear fruit, and so the turning of the wheel says that timeline is accelerated for you, and multiple things are going to change in your life when the Wheel of Fortune turns. This is multiple things. This could be where you live changes, who you are in relationship with could change, where you work changes, groups that you're associated with. Now, not everything's going to change, but it does feel like big changes that are going to bring you to a much more peaceful and beautiful place. And then you have potent creative energy with the Empress card to the Six of Swords. This is going to calmer, more peaceful shores, basically. The Empress energy is creating a more beautiful tomorrow. She's nurturing her future into being out of love and a more beautiful vision for the world. You are manifesting something beautiful. Whatever it is that you are working on is physical. It's like a person, place, or thing that's going to, manifest, because with the seeds of the Knight of Pentacles, you're practicing manifestation. And then the Six of Swords, you can see this little Eskimo child is not, it's not rowing or using oars or anything like that. It's not paddling itself, right? It's just laying there thinking about what it wants, what its intentions are, and then transmitting that out into the universe. And then the universe is answering the call. It's creating this like orca in light codes up in the sky, and then the orcas appear here in the water and start swimming to that more peaceful, beautiful place for you. And when they do that, they create a wake on the surface of the water that carries your boat for you. It's like co-creation at its finest. It's literally you just sending out your intention and Spirit answering the call, and doing much of the work for you. So let go and let God, I say. And then at the bottom of the deck, you have Queen of Wands. This is you as a very powerful manifester. The Queen of Wands is passionate, number one, but she's also a bruja, a shamaness, a witch. She is empowered. She is the female version of the magician on many levels. She knows how to create, Yeah. And you have the Queen of Wands and the Empress in the same reading. Like, it's like, wow, so potent creatrix energy right here. I love it. So let's get some clarifiers for beautiful Pisces for the month of November. Thank you, Spirit. Wow. Okay. Pisces. 2 more, please, Spirit. Thank you. Okay. Wow, beautiful Pisces. So this is some deep stuff. Like you're here for a deep read. I can see this right now. So here you are in the midst of an erupting volcano, keeping your center, holding your peace. You're embracing these lilies and staying centered while the volcano erupts all around and the wands fly, right? And then you have the Ace of Wands here. This is like really fiery energy. It really does feel like for a lot of you beautiful Pisces, this energy is outside of you and it's really trying to trip you up. It's really trying to cause trouble, but not really cause trouble, wanting to pull you into the circle of the vortex energetically. It's almost like an energy vampire for a lot of you. For others of you, I mean, if this is a person, they're very passionate, but they're also messy, it's just real fiery energy. And the volcano is real fiery energy, beautiful Pisces. When your outcome is very watery energy, and that's who you are, very peaceful and deep, and still waters run deep, right? So like you're in a time of needing to refine yourself, remake your home, basically, I feel. And then you have, with the Knight of Pentacles, the Tower card. So I'm just going to point out the obvious here. These are both volcanoes. This is an eruption. Now this could be 2 different things. This could be an eruption of creative energy, because with the Ace of Wands, that's creative energy as well, right? An eruption of creative energy. But also the Tower tends to herald a fall of something, a humbling of something quickly turning to ashes, so that you can build out of the ashes, out of the fertile ground that's left. Sometimes things are in your way, and I just keep getting that, like these wands wanting to trip you up, so they're in your way. When something's in your way, sometimes Spirit steps in and is like, here, let me get that out of your way, and creates a great fall. So it feels like there's just a powerful ending here. And with the Knight of Pentacles, something, and like I said, building something out of the ashes, right? The Knight of Pentacles is growing, and he grows his seeds from the soil, and the Tower leaves ashes, which fertilizes the soil. And I really feel this, like the Death card, right? In order to build something new, you need the transformative energy of the Death card. The ending becomes the beginning. And that is the message of the Wheel of Fortune. The ending becomes the beginning. Like you've reached an ending of a chapter with it all 10s, and then all aces are a new beginning. So you have the 3 of Swords clarifying the Wheel of Fortune. So this is a sense of loss. This is a sense of discomfort, But this sense of loss is really just a perception. This is a heart, and a heart is a neutral thing. But then there are swords in it, and there are roses in it. So you can say every rose has its thorn and every thorn has its rose. Yes. But then again, you can just look at the swords and see those, and that's uncomfortable. Or you can just look at the roses and just see those and be like, that's beautiful. It's really just a matter of perception, how you see it. We can all look at everything and see the bright side and the dark side, right? And so the turning of the wheel, it brings mixed blessings. Something will end, beautiful Pisces, for you in November, and it will clear the way for whatever it is that you want to create. But you might be distracted by how you interpret the turning of the wheel, So please do remember that this is happening for you, not to you, And then with the Empress, you have the Hermit. So this is you finding yourself alone in some ways, or having grown in some ways. Maturity, clarity, wisdom, and standing alone at the top of a hill, having reached a certain point. It's lonely at the top of the mountain, basically, right? And that's where the Hermit stands with his lantern to shine his light for others to find their way up, And not everybody ascends the mountain, and that's why it's lonely at the top. But when they do ascend the mountain, they change in the process. And you've changed. And that's why you have the Hermit card here. Your wisdom and your maturity is what makes you a more powerful and potent creator. And that's why Spirit is co-creating with you now, because you're creating out of love and out of a higher vision. And that's what you have here with the Hermit as well, right? And so that's when Spirit is like, yes, I'm going to bless those seeds. I'm going to fertilize those seeds and empower this beautiful creator, So, and also what you're creating could be bringing wisdom to other people, could be, again, showing the way in some way to other people. Whatever it is that you're creating is shining a light for others. And don't hide your light. That would definitely be advice on this. Don't hide your light under a barrel. Say your words, even if they don't make sense to other people. It doesn't matter at this point. With the Tower here, it doesn't matter if it makes sense to other people. You can't make yourself small anymore to fit in, I want to say. And I know that's a very specific message. And really, just that may not apply to all of you. Take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. But I do feel like there is a strong energy of authenticity in the second half of your reading. There's a lot of blue and depth. And over here, there's a lot of red and upset, right? So as you move through this time, you find your peace, you find your authentic voice, you find your healing energy, and things fall into place for you. You really have to get rid of some messy energy for that to happen, but it happens with ease. The Six of Swords is clarified by the King of Cups. And the Six of Swords is, again, that energy of sending your intentions out and then Spirit answering the call. And the King of Cups is deep subconscious energy, deep connection to Spirit. Also repressed emotions, repressed memories, deep subconscious energy. Those blue lotuses bring you to an altered state almost too. And it's like receiving messages in your dreams. There's deep, deep energy here of shadow work, healing, remembering who you are, what you are, that kind of thing. And then you have Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Don't worry so much, please, and don't think so much. All of these thoughts are truly muddying the waters. You're trying to go to calmer shores. And the Nine of Swords are just upsetting. There's fear, regret, doubt, something keeping you up at night. And whatever that is, it's not serving you. And the answer, the solution is to be here now. Be present, Pisces. Don't live in the future where fear and uncertainty exists. And don't live in the past where resentment and regret exists. Be here now. Practice mindfulness. Be centered. Yeah, it's again with the Three of Swords, how do you want to look at it? But there are, there are some powerful energies here, Pisces, that, could challenge you, and then others that bring such potential and healing. I think that meditation, quiet time, mindfulness, staying grounded, practicing yoga maybe, mantra, whatever it is going to serve you greatly this month. Whatever you can do to stay centered in this energy. Okay. And then you have 3 of Pentacles, clarifying 5 of Wands. So you're creating, like you're birthing your world into being. This is you putting your mind, body, and spirit behind it. The mind is the architect holding the plans. The body is the artist on the bench doing the work. And the spirit is the monk blessing it, And when you do that, the manifestation happens. The pentacles happen. Wealth comes and whatever resources you need to move forward, So just stay focused on what it is that you are co-creating with spirit. That's your way out of this. Your creation is your way out of this, really. And then 7 of Cups with the Knight of Pentacles. 7 of Cups is choose wisely, my friend. Choose wisely. Knight of Pentacles is, again, that creating, that intention energy. But what are you intending? What seeds are you sowing? What do you value? You also had Tower in this row, right? So choose wisely, because whatever, some of those seeds are not beneficial for you. They can be detrimental for you even, So I would say choose what's pure. These lilies here in the center of your breast are white. They speak of purity. There's an angel here. That's purity, right? Like err on the side of purity, I would say, Pisces. And then 6 of Swords clarifies Wheel of Fortune. Again, the turning of the tide, 6 of Swords. It's where you're being moored, you're being ushered to calmer shores, right? The Wheel of Fortune is doing that for you. You have 6 of Swords twice, Here, again, you're not doing anything. You're not rowing or oaring. Spirit is doing it for you, right? So in both cases, like, Spirit has your back. You're protected, And this also has the 3 of Swords in this row. You're protected from heartbreak. You're protected from upset. You're protected from loss. Whatever drama, brought you that upset energy, Spirit wants to move you away from that. On one side of the 6 of Swords, the water is really upset, and on the other, it's glassy smooth. And that's the direction you need to go in. If something is upsetting you, that's the energy you need to move away from. And then you have the Empress clarifying the Empress. You're so potent, so creative, so fertile. And you remember that, beautiful Pisces, you are fertile this month, okay? So if you want to make babies, remember that. If you don't want to make babies, remember that, okay? And then you have the Hermit here too, right? Your wisdom makes you a better creator. Your maturity makes you a better creator. I just feel like your purity makes you a better creator. You have the white lilies on your dress too. And you have white lilies all around you here. There's just, as the Hermit, you've come above the fray of the lower vibes, the edginess, the darkness. And I really do think that just sitting in the light is what you need to do, And then 4 of Pentacles clarifies 6 of Swords. You're safe. 4 of Pentacles is security, protected. Your resources are protected. By going to that safer place, you're protecting your resources too. By getting away from upsetting thoughts and from the drama and all that other stuff, and bringing the subconscious to light also, doing dream work and that kind of thing with the King of Cups. you know. The Four of Pentacles is like securing your purse and making more conservative investments as well, you know, and that might be part of it, you know, choosing the more conservative way to manage your resources could be bringing you to calmer shores somehow, you know. And then you have Four of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So Four of Cups is grounding your emotions and seeing this Ace of Cups right here, this brand beautiful new beginning that Spirit is handing to you. You know, don't turn your frown upside down. Don't look at those 3 spilt cups, or they're not spilt. In other decks, they might be. Don't look at those 3 cups anymore. Like, they weren't what you thought they were. They didn't turn out to be what you had hoped for. But so what? You know, don't look at those 3 swords anymore. Look at the roses, you know. Look at the Ace of Cups being literally gifted to you from Spirit right now, you know. There is a need to recognize your blessings and to practice gratitude this month, I would say. You know, what else do we have for beautiful Pisces? 2 more, please, and thank you. Ooh, I love it. All right. So you have Rainbow Waterfall, miracles. I love that. I love it. I love it very much. You know, your life is changing with the Wheel of Fortune, and you have the rainbow at the center of this wheel too, right? Like the universe is bringing you some beautiful things, you know, and look, so much change is happening. You have these butterflies all around, like you are being changed in the midst of all of this, right? So accept the miracles, like, you know, I'm here for it type of thing. And then Spirit Guardian of Summer, expansion. And I'm not surprised by this because you have the Empress twice. You know, you are such a potent creator right now. Things are expanding. You know, your business could be expanding. Your family could be expanding. Something is growing larger. And then you have Starry Night, acceptance. I love that. And this Hermit reminds me kind of like Van Gogh's Starry, Starry Night. And this beautiful 6 of Swords is in a starry night. You know, acceptance. Like the energy of, you know, that didn't work out. You know, that's okay. That's okay. You know, everything doesn't have to work out. You know, and it does feel like you have a mixed bag here in November, right? So I love it. Starry Night is like the Star card. It's healing, you know, and it's following the guidance that comes from Spirit. Goose, inner knowing. You are a brave traveler. Your soul knows the way. Be confident you will achieve your destination. Loyal friends are always with you. Don't worry, you are blessed. Let yourself fly. All of that and more, beautiful Pisces. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you next time. Peace.